Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I will detail a teen's death that led to more violence. Anthony Bowie was a 16-year-old teen from the 9-7 East Coast Crips, and he went by the name Lil Murk. He came under a well-known and respected OG named Big Murk, who name rung bells, so that's the same thing that Anthony tried to do. He was deep in the streets and had a hard upbringing growing up in South Central, which included facing death, selling drugs, jail, and being on his own a lot. Anthony died December 15th, 1992 at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall in Downey after he was serving time there. Allegedly, all this happened because him and his rivals had a shouting match, authorities said. As the confrontation escalated, authorities said that Anthony was dragged in his cell by staffers trying to break it up. Accounts of what happened next vary, but shortly afterward, Anthony was found dead in his cell. Anthony's family has alleged that his death resulted from a chokehold used by a staff member trying to restrain him. The autopsy showed the cause of death to be a blunt neck injury. Instead of the blocked air passages and the throat bruises that would have been present had death resulted from a chokehold. Coroner's investigators found hemorrhages around the covering of a spinal cord at Anthony's neck. It was said when a spinal cord is suppressed, if it is pinched or injured or cut off, it will cause respiratory distress. Such an injury, he added, is consistent with the bending of a neck, but not with a choking injury. 2 Los Padrinos employees were suspended with pay, pending the outcome of an investigation into Anthony's death, which reportedly occurred after he was restrained with a neck grip similar to a chokehold, which was no longer used for law enforcement purposes. But Anthony's funeral will also be complete chaos. Vernon Lincoln, who was 22, attended Anthony's funeral, but on the outside of the funeral, problems occurred. Los Angeles police used videotape to identify a suspect who shot and killed Vernon at the funeral. Vernon was pronounced dead at the scene shortly after 3 p.m. The shooting was outside the New Life Christian Church in South Central Los Angeles. The suspect walked up to Lincoln after the service and shot him, then fled in a waiting car. Several television stations were videotaping the event, said the police. They viewed the tape and had a good idea who they were looking for.
There was a funeral yesterday in this confused and shell-shocked city in a city, South Central, for a boy who died in a juvenile detention center. His name was Anthony Bowie, and he was just 16. Died after he'd been restrained by guards. His family, grief-stricken, angry, wanted a public funeral, wanted to accuse those guards of killing their boy with an illegal chokehold. But then, outside the church, 2 young mourners with some other score to settle had words or just saw each other or something, and this is what happened.
A number of shots exposed, and people went flying everywhere. We ran, hit the ground, making sure that we are not hit by a bullet.
And now another young man is dead. He had a name too, Vernon Lincoln. The police, trying to piece together what happened, shrugged and said, second time this month, a shooting at a funeral. Funerals are where enemies meet. Another place to die, in a city too used to senseless death. Keith Morrison, NBC News, Los Angeles.
2 people were later arrested and identified as a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. The shooting was based in 11 Deuce Broadways, with the funeral being held in their territory. The 90s were treacherous. Shooting up a funeral is a crazy thing to do, but it was a common occurrence. Saying your goodbye to someone and you die doing that shows how wicked the streets are. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, hype, comment, and subscribe.